Another awesome trading week with some trades from the daily market breakdown video. Let's get into this week's Forex forecast. Starting off with the forecast for the DXY, the US dollar. As you guys can see, the US dollar has just been on an absolute tear. We broke below some sort of demand, and I thought that was a sign that we were going to push down. So I'm not going to lie, I did think that this was the move that was going to take place, but I was wrong, and we actually pushed up on the DXY. So as far as the daily chart goes, yes, we are overextended. We are kind of due for a deeper pullback to kind of give us more of that healthy looking uptrend. But at the end of the day, the price is very, very strong. So there's no denying that. And even on the weekly chart here, yes, we are coming into some sort of selling, but we do have profit margin up to 110. I'm not saying that for sure the US dollar will push all the way back up to this weekly supply located at 110. I'm not saying that's going to take place. But what I am saying is that with the momentum being to the upside like it is on the daily chart, there's really no evidence of the dollar slowing down. Yes, like I said, there is supply coming into play, but we do have profit margin to the upside. This isn't really good supply in my opinion. It is some sort of selling, but like I said, there's really not a lot holding up price here. It's not like we have quality supply zones like this one that are going to hold up price. So I think profit margin to the upside long term is there. Now on the 4-hour chart, really nothing has changed. We have a very consistent 4-hour uptrend. If we pull back to this 4-hour demand at 104.21, we could definitely see a move off that demand zone as long as it's within this trend line. And if we actually break above this supply that we are currently reacting off of at 105 and we are left with new 4-hour demand, we'll have to see what happens at that 4-hour demand as well. But at the end of the day, really no evidence that the DXY is really turning around at all. The only evidence we really have is the fact that the trend / momentum in the daily chart is very, very aggressive. So we could expect that deeper pullback like that to kind of give more of a healthier uptrend if we are going to, push up to like the 110 area, like I said, because if the dollar is going to push up to 110, like I said, for price to just shoot straight up from there and not have a healthy pullback is very, very rare. So that's kind of what I'm looking out for in the dollar. It doesn't mean I'm just shorting the dollar, but I am expecting at least some downside pressure soon, maybe down to, like I said, 4-hour demand. So as long as the 4-hour and the 1-hour trends are to the upside, I think day trading longs in the dollar are fine. And once we start to break trend on the 1-hour chart, we need to be trading with caution. So that's what I'm thinking about here on the DXY. All right, on to the euro, and I would appreciate a like and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And looking at the weekly chart here of the euro, remember we aren't to this weekly buying area. We did initially react off of it, but pushing in pretty deep. So safe to say that all this demand is really used up. So really nothing of quality here that I'm really seeing here on the euro as far as trading it goes. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart, we do have this supply above at 1.07. We could definitely see a move off of that 4-hour supply zone right there. If we push up higher to this supply zone at 1.084, we could also see a move off that supply zone, and even the one a little bit higher as well. So really, 3 decent looking supply zones here on the euro US dollar that I'm seeing in the 4-hour chart. Now, I always advise when a 4-hour chart is trending, I advise looking for like 50-minute or 5-minute confirmation. So if price does pull up to any one of these zones, that's where you switch down to your lower time frames, like a 50-minute chart or a 5-minute chart, and then look for confirmation coming off of these zones like that in the lower time frames. And what that does is it kind of narrows down your entry to a smaller amount of pips, and then you kind of maximize it. So instead of taking the whole zone like this, you could maybe look for trades on a lower time frame and get a smaller zone and get the whole move, and it just increases your risk to reward. So that's why I'm thinking confirmation could be better. So look at these zones on the 4-hour chart of the euro, and that's pretty much all I'm seeing. And for longs, I'm really not seeing anything for longs, I'll be quite honest. Since demand is in control, we could look for longs if we get a significant shift in momentum on the 4-hour chart. That'll probably be for next week's video if that takes place. But for now, as long as we have the 4-hour downtrends, it's day trading shorts all the way here on the euro US dollar. All right, on to gold. If you look now on the daily chart here, we reacted nicely off the downward trend line. It's a very obvious and clean downward trend line. It doesn't mean that we're going to push all the way back down, but if you guys have been following me for a while, we have profit margin to the downside to about 1870. So I think this is still the move we could see on gold like that. We could tap into this weekly area of demand, but so far the evidence is in that we are going to be doing that because we have supply zones in control that's holding on the 1-hour chart. we have demand zone that's currently holding up price. So what I want to see for those shorts is this demand removed. That would give us a pretty nice looking 1 hour downtrend. At that point, we could look for shorts to trade down to like 1900 or the 1880 area, 1870, like long term. So that's pretty much what I am looking for here on gold. As far as zones go now, there's really not a lot going on. Like even on the 4 hour chart, tested supply zone. We've already got a beautiful reaction off my supply zone that I've had drawn since all the way back here. So that zone's already been used up. Really not. I don't feel comfortable pointing out any poor looking supply zones for you guys right now because I'm really not seeing any zones. And that's a huge reason that I have the Diamond membership, because you guys can get my daily market breakdown videos that I release daily throughout the week that I point out all of the important zones. As you can see, there's tons of trade reviews here from the daily market breakdown videos. You can go onto my Instagram and check it out yourself under the trades highlights tabs, but tons of trades. Would be happy to see you guys in the daily market breakdown videos to potentially get trades like this. And as always, I'm looking for serious traders who want to learn, because I also have video lessons A to Z where you can learn more about supply and demand trading. So check it out if you want the daily market breakdown video, because like I said, guys, we're not always going to get zones throughout the week. Like I pointed out earlier on this 1 hour chart, we're not always going to get zones on Friday, right? So right now there's no zone, but on Wednesday, if we break below this zone, we have a 1 hour supply zone that's valid. In the daily market breakdown video, say, hey, look, we have a valid supply zone like that, and we can look to get in short. That's what you see in those trades that I pointed out. So check it out. Links in the description down below. And as far as gold goes now, like I said, really not much going on. Going to have to report on this one kind of throughout the week to see if we break this 1 hour supply zone, to see if the overall daily trend is going to continue down. On to the USDJPY. We have a very significant weekly supply zone in control right now. We pretty much call this move out all the way to supply at 146.6. We definitely need to be trading with caution here around this weekly supply, because the big test is going to be really on the whole US dollar in general, but the big test is going to be, will we break this supply zone, break the high, create a very beautiful looking weekly uptrend? I really hope that's what happens here in the USDN. We really have no evidence that that's taking place right now, because if you look on all 4 time frames here, momentum is clearly just up. Daily chart's up, 4 hours up. We have 1 hour demand zones kind of being respected, but kind of not. A little tricky to trade this one right now. The only real zone I'm seeing is this one down here at 145.51. We could see a move off that zone, especially since we've kind of proven there is demand down here like that. So as long as it doesn't take too long to get down to the zone like this, as long as we can get the pullback deep right there, that would be the zone I would be looking at 146.51, as we have those higher time frame trends to the upside. Now, with that weekly supply and control, some of you might want to be getting in short, which I understand. I'm personally not doing that just yet. But for shorts, what we need to see at minimum is something like this, where we actually break this demand and we break the upward trend line. And then if we have 4 hour supply there, that would be your confirmation short trade. I remember I have video lessons on that in the video lesson series on confirmation trades, how to take exact confirmation trades like this. So that's pretty much what I'd be waiting for shorts here in the USDN for swing trading and even day trading timeframes. Because look, yes, supply's in control, but we're really not seeing any evidence of this thing slowing down. So for longs, we want to wait for this demand. For shorts, we need to see a significant shift in momentum here on the 4 hour chart, because I'm really not seeing any potential shorts at all. So what I'm hoping happens here for longs for me is we get another significant push up on the 1 hour chart, and we can look for pullbacks for longs on the 1 hour chart. So as far as day trading goes on the yen, day trading longs 100%, swing trading longs still on the table for sure, as long as we have the 4 hour and the 1 hour trend to the upside. All right, on to the GBPUSD really quick. Do you think this weekly demand zone at 1.25 is going to hold? Do you think we will react positively, or do you think we're going to break to the downside? Let me know in the comments down below. So with the weekly demand and control, you got it. We could be looking for those long trades. Now, there's really 2 options here for longs. The more aggressive route for an entry would be something like this. On the 4 hour chart, where we break 4 hour supply zone and we have 4 hour demand, that would be your confirmation trade like that as we come off of demand. The safer bet would be something like this, where we can remove not only the supply but also the downward trend line. That would be the better looking confirmation. So if we get something like that, that would be your confirmation. Now, If you think we're actually going to continue to go lower, for day trading shorts, we really only have this supply at 1.254, so we could see a move off that supply zone. So if we do pull up to the supply and you say, hey, I don't think we're going to get the confirmation like this, and you want to trade short, well, this is your supply, and you could be looking for day trading shorts off of that supply at 1.254. Now, your more conservative confirmation entry would be on the daily chart here. So if we can get some sort of move like this to the upside, where we break daily supply and we're left with daily demand, and we get something like this, then we can start to look for longs in the daily demand to potentially get the move to the upside as we come off of the weekly demand zone. So I know that this could take, this whole move could take really till November to play out, but I'm just kind of trying to give you guys an idea of what could be taking place in the future, and that's why you guys should also continue to tune in week after week so you can see these potential moves play out and see how it is. So that's what I'm really seeing potentially happening in the long term. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying if I wanted to swing trade long the pound, that is like the safest bet for something like that to take place here on the daily chart. And as always, if you think we're going to go down, the daily supply is also valid. So we could look for shorts off of that daily supply at 1.257. So it's really whatever you think is going to take place. And look, I'll be honest, it's tricky on the pound. Where's price going? I remember getting a comment a while ago from a guy saying, "Oh, I hate how your forecasts are. It doesn't tell us what exactly to do, which direction." Well, I'll be honest, it's tricky. Weekly demand is in control, which is a sign that price could be pushing up off of weekly demand because it's a higher time frame. But there's really no upward trend here. Yes, momentum is to the upside, but the overall move is kind of just down. So it's just sideways. So it's very, very tricky. If we had a consistent and clean weekly uptrend like this, and we were pulling back to weekly demand, I would be saying it's longs 100%. I wouldn't even be looking for shorts. But also, like I said, for shorts here on the pound, if you wanted to, it would be on day trading time frames only. So you can always get day trading shorts in the higher time frame demand zone. We used to be trading with caution. So like I said, as far as the pound goes, we'll be focusing on the 4-hour supply for the day trading shorts. And for confirmation, we need to start seeing some supply zones removed, at least on the 4-hour chart. All right, on to the USDCAD. On the daily chart here, just want to point out we still have profit margin up to 1.371, this purple supply zone that I have on my charts. Now, the real question is, are we going to push up to supply first, or are we going to rally back down to daily demand and then push up to supply? That's really the question right now. And in order to find out what's going to happen, we need to look at the lower time frames. And if you look, there's really no evidence of anything taking place right now, because if you look on the 4-hour chart, we have a beautiful looking 4-hour uptrend with not only a trend line that's intact, but we also have demand zones being respected multiple times. So we have a very, very nice looking 4-hour uptrend. If we can get something like this to take place, leaving us with 4-hour supply, remember, I will have this supply zone for the members on my charts and in the daily market breakdown videos. That would be your potential short trade like that on the 4-hour supply zone as we potentially push down to that daily demand zone that I was pointing out earlier. So this is the move that is possible, but it's not on the table yet as it hasn't really taken place yet. So we're not just going to hop on short here. We need to see the evidence that that's taking place. And as far as longs go now, I'm really not seeing anything. But if you look on the 1-hour chart, we have 1-hour demand and control. This is a zone I had for the members for a while now, since all the way back here. With that demand and control, we could be looking for those day trading longs like this to catch the move up to 1.36. So with the demand being control, it's day trading longs all the way here on the USDCAD. But remember, we could be getting that pullback down to daily demand. Like I said, there's no evidence of that taking place yet, but we are starting to see price pull back a little bit. So if we start to kind of break the trend line and the demand zone on the 4-hour chart, that could be a sign that maybe, hey, we're going to be pulling back down to this daily demand, and we can catch that move, on day trading time frames down to 1.355 shorts. On to the Aussie US dollar. I want to keep my 4-chart layout here open and kind of just show you the dilemma that we are having here. If you look at a weekly chart, which is my top left corner, my top left chart, you can see we are into weekly and monthly demand zone right now, but the overall momentum is to the downside, and even on the daily chart, it's more clear. We have a very powerful daily downtrend. I don't really want to be trading against that downtrend. So as far as longs go, we really, really need a significant change in momentum before I even consider getting in long. So that would be something that would consist of something like this on the 4-hour chart, leaving us with 4-hour demand. That would be your confirmation trade to the long side. Even that's a little risky. So as far as the Aussie US dollar goes, I think it's shorts all the way. With a 4-hour downtrend right now that you can see, we have 4-hour supply above. We could look for shorts off that supply at 0.645. That's really the only 4-hour supply zone I'm seeing. And if you want to jump the gun a little bit earlier, we have supply at 0.642 on the 1-hour chart. And with this 1-hour demand zone being in control, we have already seen the reaction to the upside almost to the supply zone. So with the demand being in control right now, we could again see the move up to this supply where we could potentially look for shorts. If not, we have a supply above as well on the 1-hour chart that's embedded inside a 4-hour supply as well. So two pretty clean supply zones here with demand in control. We could see the push up. So if you want to jump the gun and be a little bit more of an aggressive trader, that's fine. With the 1-hour demand in control, we could be looking for day trading longs as well. But remember, this area is very tested, so it's not really the the highest odds to be trading the Aussie US dollar right now. But me personally, with the downtrends on the daily chart and momentum overall being down and tested demand, I'm personally looking for shorts here on the Aussie US dollar. So really just want to wait patiently for pullbacks up to supply zones, or if new 1-hour supply zones are formed, we could look for shorts in there as well. On to the USD Swiss. Very, very tricky one right now. I am bullish the US dollar, but I'm bearish the USD Swiss just based on the overall downward trend. Weekly supply and control, we could definitely see the move off of the zone, but really no evidence of that taking place just yet. If you look at a daily chart, really what we could be looking for, if you want to look for shorts, we have supply zones here in the daily chart. We could see a move off of that. If you think we're going to continue to push up, I would really just feel comfortable waiting for this daily demand at 0.88, and then we can look for longs off of that daily demand. Now, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, I mean, this 4-hour demand zone is inside the daily demand anyways, but we could look for longs in this 4-hour demand at 0.884 as we have this 4-hour uptrend looking pretty strong. But it looks like we are kind of due for a pullback, so we could get the pullback. But at the end of the day, 4-hour trends looking strong, 1-hour trends looking strong on the USD Swiss. It's longs all the way here on the USD Swiss. Even though, yes, I have to kind of be bearish based on the weekly chart, I'm just really not seeing evidence of the weekly supply holding. I mean, like you said in the daily chart, we already had a supply zone removed. The next test will be the supply at 0.896 on the daily chart to see if that breaks. So definitely tricky right now on the Aussie or on the USD Swiss. So confirmation might always be best. Last but not least, crude oil. Going to start from a weekly perspective here. I want to point out this weekly supply. We have supply and control. We could see selling start to take place at 87.25 where we are right now on oil. So just want to point out this top-down perspective here. Weekly supply is in control, so we could expect some downward pressure. We have not seen really any evidence of it yet. We have kind of seen it, on the 1-hour chart. If you can look in the bottom right, you can see the 1-hour chart. We did actually lose momentum to the upside right here, as you can see. So if we break this 1-hour demand and this low right here, we'll have a 1-hour downtrend. That could be evidence, that hey, maybe oil is actually going to pull back off of that weekly supply. But at the end of the day, trends are looking very strong. Daily uptrend very, very strong right now. So really don't want to be messing with oil too much right now. There's a little bit of evidence that we're turning around. Our price is kind of going sideways. We are kind of due for a pullback. So if we get a pullback down to 84.30, we could look for longs off of that demand like that. Or if we break up to the upside in the 4-hour chart, that could be a sign that, hey, maybe the weekly supply isn't going to hold. So if we break this supply, and if we're left with new 4-hour demand, we could be looking for longs in that demand as well. So kind of a tricky one right now where, yes, we have a daily uptrend, we have a 4-hour uptrend, so day trading longs are fine, but with the weekly supply and control, we could see that downward pressure start to kind of kick in, so we need to be trading with caution here, maybe half risk, at least until maybe we can break halfway through the supply zone or something on the weekly chart. But at the end of the day, daily uptrend, 4-hour uptrend, it's definitely continuing to look for longs, but maybe using confirmation or half risk. And then, like I said, if we break the low in the 1-hour chart, start to break down, we can potentially look for those day trading shorts here on crude oil. If you guys want to watch the full-length forecast with all the other markets, make sure to subscribe to the channel membership to get access.